Nightly News.
Welcome to Pagan Nightly News on Magick TV. My name is Ed Hubbard, along with
Anastasia Tompkins.
Today at 11:11 begins the transmission of Magick TV. We plan to bring to you everything about the metaphysical world on your VPod, computer, and electronic devices. We plan to cover social news, underreported issues, and everything else that this metaphysical world may bring to you. And now to our first special report.
Over the Halloween Samhain season, the town of Piqua, Ohio saw a protest against the Wiccans of Heritage Temple. The protest, led by local Baptists, finally came to a confrontation at a prayer circle on Halloween night. We bring you a special report by Don Lewis with Reverend Rodney Dysinger and Reverend Debbie Tompkins.
This notice came about a special prayer meeting that was going to be held strategically on October 31st, being Halloween, and they wanted to come together and pray about the situation of the Heritage Temple, and they call it a pagan church of witchcraft. So we talked about it a little bit and decided we probably should attend. We really, our main goal was to try and be available to get information out to those, because we know there's lots of misconceptions out there. We didn't know what our reception was going to be.
The evening of the 31st, we met here at the house. My oldest son, his wife, and my grandson were with us. And we went down, and the parking lot was full, so we were a little anxious about going in. Everybody seemed fairly friendly. The pastor got up and made a short speech about how he had become aware of the Heritage Temple, basically because of the flyers all over town for our witches' ball, and that's what generated this notice. The guy that they got as a expert was from a city, probably an hour north of here, and he went on to describe himself as being heavily involved in the darker side of Wicca. And you'd notice on the pamphlet, on the flyer here, Wicca is spelled W-I-C-A. He stated that he didn't know who these people were, and the pastor had also stated that he didn't know who these people were. And then they went on to describe what these people were, how these people were, what they were intended to do, and pretty much trashed us pretty badly. The one thing he did get right, I will give him credit, is he did explain that Wiccan is not associated with Satanism. He tried to describe the Sabbats, and he couldn't pronounce that, and he couldn't pronounce Samhain. Had a lot of facts confused. He gave a brief history of Wicca and how it was started by Aleister Crowley back at the beginning of the 1900s.
We were actually in a good company. They trashed the Mormons, the Hindus, the Buddhists, the Masons. They decided that they should check and see if there are any witches in the room.
Yes. The expert had decided that they should check, since there were strange faces in the room.
Because and then they all kind of almost unanimously said, you wouldn't want to hold hands with a witch, would you? And they all said, no, we wouldn't want to do that. Ooh. So they proceeded to go almost pew by pew, well, not pew by pew, but that says that they pointed us out because we're the strangers in the room, and they kind of came back to us, they said, and started to question people, see if they were Christian or not. And they came back to us and they asked, are you Christian?
Reverend Tompkins here kind of threw him a left hook when she stood up and announced that she was Reverend Debbie Tompkins and head of Heritage Nativist Temple. That caused a kind of a step back, you know. So they found out that the evil man in charge was a woman.
At this point, the hosting minister, or the hosting minister, told us that we were told not to come, and we were kind of confused by that because, first of all, nobody told us anything, and plus, if they didn't really know who we weren't really sure how we would have been told anyway. So, but we were being asked to leave. We knew that. So I said, well, if you're asking us to leave, we'll leave. You know, it's fine. Yeah. We feel like it would not benefit us to try and counter anything they said, because this was a people that we felt were very close-minded.
We went to answer questions and try to dispel a lot of misconceptions, which I think is exactly what happened. Because a lot of things that their so-called expert testified on proved wrong before we ever walked out the door.
What advice would you give people who are facing similar situations to this?
Keep your cool.
Definitely.
Don't argue. You're not going to change the mind of a fanatic. Let your actions speak for themselves. If you come across as a sane individual, spiritually minded, that's going to show.
And we also talked with Mayor DeBrosi on this issue.
I'm the mayor of the city of Piqua, Ohio. Recently got involved with Reverend Rod and Reverend Debbie in attending a Halloween prayer meeting that was held by the Baptists to talk about what to do about the situation with the new Wiccan Pagan temple in Piqua. And I was very concerned when I received the announcement. The announcement was phrased in terms that I guess made me be concerned about public safety angle of what are these people intend to do about the Wiccans. So hopefully all they're going to do is pray. And it was a very interesting experience. The temple members got ran out of the meeting, of course. And but I was pleased to see that there were only about 50 people there. And I think that's a very small fraction of a community of 20,000, and I do think represents the most extreme fringe.
We will keep you up to date about this and other stories.
Join us Monday night and every night as we cover the metaphysical